All right, how's it going, everybody? My name is Christian Frazier, Keller Williams, Buckhead, and I'm here with Jeff Glick, New American Funding.
Hello.
And if you haven't seen me before, I may have a familiar face. You may have seen me on Saturday Night Live. You may have seen me on Law and Order. If you're a Discovery ID junkie, you may have seen me play the killer.
Hopefully that was just TV and not real life.
Just TV, not real life. There's not gonna be any headlines or anything like that. But before I got into the business, the entertainment business, and I've hung out with just about everybody in the business, from Dave Chappelle to Meryl Streep, and it's been a fun ride. But before I got into the business, I actually had been in the real estate business for about 17 years.
Nice.
So I've had a lot of success in selling, a lot of houses, and really what I pride myself in doing is being able to help people get into homes, especially people who really thought that they could not get a home. And that's why I'm actually here talking to Jeff, because his company, they actually specialize in programs that offer people an ability to be able to get in a home with very little money down, very little money out of pocket, and if you don't have a lot of cash reserves, a lot of money in the bank, you're still able to get into a home. So I just wanted to spread the news and talk about it a little bit, and turn the floor over to Jeff. And actually, let's actually just talk about the first program that you have available, the no money down, the FHA financing.
So there's, as Christian mentioned, there's a variety of programs out there, not only in-house programs, but external programs for folks that are looking to what we call down payment assistance type stuff. One of the in-house programs we have is an FHA 100%.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so with the FHA 100%, we're financing the 100% of the down payment.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that people sometimes will think is that it's absolutely no money down. There are still closing costs involved, but with the FHA, our 100%, we underwrite it and everything in-house. There are no income limits to that. Minimum credit score, we just came out where we used to be 640, we just lowered it to 620.
Wow,
so
620.
Yep, a 620 credit score, 100% FHA financing, and it's available in any county, anywhere, any type of property, and again, at any income level.
So that works how? Is like a first and second mortgage, basically?
Yeah, depending on the income, there's three different ways it works. Depending on how much money you do make, it'll be structured at either a gift, a silent second, or a repayable second.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's also an opportunity to get some of the closing costs included into that loan. Is that
well,
correct?
not with the loan.
Okay.
Now the conventional one that you and I spoke about, our new 101% from a
That's the
conventional.
one. Okay.
Yeah. This one you would have to get the closing cost. Either you'd come with the closing cost, or you have the seller contribute to the closing cost.
And it's definitely still done today. Just got a deal in this weekend. Sellers paying the closing costs. So those options and opportunities are definitely out there.
Right. So that's in-house. It's underwritten in-house. It's funded in-house. We do that loan in-house. And then we have the conventional one we came out with a couple of weeks ago, and we just call it the NAF for New American Funding, our 101%. And basically, with the conventional one, a minimum of 660 credit score.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other piece of that is not only does it cover the 3% down payment, but there's 1% there that will go towards the closing cost.
All right. So then, with 1% going towards the closing cost, it helps, because if you're asking the seller to pay for a closing cost, it really all comes down in a competitive bid situation, and those are still out there. I recently had to write 7 offers for a buyer, and because it was a competitive bid situation.
Yeah.
And so those are out there, but when you're asking for less in closing costs, it actually makes your offer a little better and more competitive. So puts you in a strong running in that type of situation out there. I also noticed on the flyer it mentioned some information about non-occupant and co-borrowers are permitted.
Yeah, with the FHA, which is an FHA guideline, which is what the FHA 100% follows, you can have a non-occupant co-borrower. We're actually doing a deal right now with an FHA non-occupant co-borrower. You don't necessarily have to be you may own other properties at the same time. But yeah, it's just straight FHA guidelines, basically.
Okay. Now, one of the questions that came up earlier today is people, Georgia is a place where I think there's like 500 people moving, or families moving to the Atlanta area every day.
Right.
So people are moving into the area. Some of the people that are looking at the video, they're from California, New York, all over the place. They may be looking at, the Atlanta, Georgia area as a place that, how would someone who maybe is, working on a job, they're about to retire, but they want to purchase a home right now, and not 5 years from now when the houses have appreciated and gone up, too much for them to afford.
Yeah. Well, it's always better to start early. We have this conversation quite a bit. Christian and I've had it with other of my agents where it's important as a client or as a potential home buyer to just start. And I always congratulate folks when they're a little bit hesitant, they're not quite sure they're ready or whatever. Just start collecting information. I spoke with a client last night, and basically I would tell them, use us as a resource. If you have resources, leverage them. So mortgage industry is always changing. Every day new things come out, new products. For example, that 101 came out a week ago. Wasn't 2 weeks ago, wasn't here a week ago, it was here. Right.
This is really awesome.
Yeah, it's a great program. So unless you're in it every day.
And no MI required.
And yeah, thank you for bringing that up. And no MI. So it's a great program. So 101% with no MI. Private mortgage insurance for those of you who don't know the lingo. But it changes every day. So I encourage everybody to, if you have questions about moving from out of state, about going, maybe potentially retiring, what does it look like? What do I need to do to make sure that when the time comes, I'm ready? And depending on, I had an agent ask me a couple of weeks ago, what do you consider a good time to start? How far out? And everybody's situation is a little bit different, right? So, if everything's buttoned up real tight, credit, income, assets, all that is great. And, you can start, we can close a loan in 20 days. So, some folks will call up and they're in good shape. Here you are, you're under contract, we close you in 30 days. Everything moves on. Other folks need a little bit more work. They need some credit. They need some work with their credit. They need to save up some money,
let's
whatever
talk
it is.
about that.
Yeah.
And this is really a good thing. Like you mentioned earlier, get in the game early. If you're thinking about retiring next year or the year after, it's a good idea, to talk to someone like Jeff now. Find out where you're at and where you need to be to get your finances and credit in order to be able to purchase a home.
Right.
Jeff works with people who are in a development stage and they're just not ready to purchase now, but in 6 months they're going to be ready because you have like a credit analyzer, correct?
Yep.
Where he can actually tell you, okay, if you pay off this credit card down to this balance, your credit score is going to jump up, then over a couple of months, your credit score is going to jump up to this, amount. Or if you do this, he's going to actually advise you on what you need to do to be able to get your finances in order. Maybe your debt to income ratio is not where it needs to be and you need to get rid of some of that debt. Right. So he'll tell you exactly what you need to do to be able to get yourself in financial condition to be able to purchase a home, which is great.
Great point. Yeah, my team and I, we work with people, as I mentioned. Some people will come in and we say they're coming in hot. We're going to close you in 14 to 22 days. We work with folks, 14 months later, they're just overwhelmed that they bought their house, but it took us, 14 months to get them there. We follow up, we follow through, we have great agents like Christian that take good care of the clients as well. So it's a real good idea to start sooner rather than later and to just at least understand what's going to take for you to get to the house.
So I have 2 questions actually, and we're not going to keep you long. We're going live, but 2 questions. One, what do you feel is like the average money someone should have saved or in reserves to be able to get into a house now, or how have they changed? Because I feel like a lot of people are renting just for the sake of renting, because it's what they're used to, it's what their friends are used to, their families, they're used to. But I feel like nowadays you can actually get into a house for less than what it actually costs to move into an apartment or renting, a house.
Many times. And what we hear from a lot of our clients, not only, even if it's the same, that rents tend to continue to increase, right? So we'll get some folks that, they've kept moving around to keep their rent at the same spot, because where they're at, it just keeps going up.
Exactly.
And they just get tired of every year, it's another $50, another $50, so they're like, I'm just gonna buy a place. And then you can, certainly, depending on where you're comfortable with a mortgage payment. I mean, there's something out there for everybody. I mean,
and that's the advantage. That's the advantage of purchasing over renting, is that rents are guaranteed to go up. They're guaranteed to go up. But when you have a 30-year fixed mortgage, you can count on that to remain the same.
Right.
You're gonna have some variables with your taxes,
exactly.
but insurance, but you know that you can count on that mortgage payment to stay the same.
Right.
And this is the other, I say the other advantage of owning as opposed to renting. When you own a home, you get a mortgage, you get like a 15-day grace period with your mortgage with most companies. When you're renting, you get a day. And they charge you $150, $200 extra for not, a day. And we all know that life comes along and things happen, and you might need a couple of days or something like that, but you don't want to have that type of stress, on you. So, purchasing a home really there's so many advantages, the tax advantages, there's just things that you can do, with a house that you can't do, with an apartment. So there's lots of advantages. The other question that I had, let me just go back for a second. You can get in with really not a lot of money in the bank right now. Sure,
yeah, and everybody, again, I hesitate to give a number only in the sense that everybody's different.
Everybody's different.
You could be a veteran and you could be doing a VA loan. It's 100% financing. We have a loan that contract we just took yesterday on a USDA, rural property, and that's 100% financing as well. Now the closing costs are still there, but the FHA 100%. There's some down payment assistance programs in the marketplace, in DeKalb, Fulton, Clayton, City of Atlanta. There's just a lot of stuff out there.
And then the other thing is that I've been in the business for a while. You've been around for a while. There's a lot of people in the business who don't really want to deal with these types of loans. And you have a company and you have someone like Jeff that loves doing it, and I love doing it, and you want somebody that knows what they're doing, that knows how to maneuver through the system to get the deals done, because it can be very cumbersome, and because this is one of the things that I hear about in the industry, especially when you start talking about down payment assistance programs. I don't want to do that because it's going to take forever to close. But if you have someone who knows what they're doing and they're doing it consistently and they're working with the same people consistently, you're going to get a better quality of service, and those deals are going to get closed.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
And that's the most important thing to me, is getting the deal to the closing table.
Yeah.
Second thing, going back to people moving here and wanting to purchase home. What about second home mortgage options for people who are still working, in like say California, but they want to purchase a home here, maybe they want to rent it out, or maybe maybe they just want to use it as a second home for when they visit here. what are some options and things that are available for somebody like that?
Well, you have, the three different types of homes. Is you've got your primary residence, you've got a second home, and then you have the investment property. So, your primary conventional mortgage, minimum 3% down, first time home buyer.
Now that would not be for somebody who's not living in the Atlanta area because the income is not. So if you're still working,
then you're not buying a primary.
You're not doing a primary.
You'll buy a second home. If you want to come here, you have family here, you come to visit often, you're going to buy a second home. You're not going to rent it out. That's where you're going to go. Minimum 10% down, put you into a second home. Interest rates aren't that much different than a primary. It's just the down payment's a little bit more, right? And then you go to the investment properties. And so that's something that you might not come here for, what Christian said, like 5 years. You want to rent it out, you want to get some cash flow. Now you're looking at 20% down for an investment property, but you can rent the place out, you can put it under your returns and all that good stuff. And then when you decide to move, you just move.
Exactly. Rent it out, get some cash flow, have the property appreciate till you're ready to get down here.
It's a great
ready
place.
to move it in. Do a quick little remodel if you want to, and move right on in. Well, thanks a bunch, Jeff. That was actually some really good information. Would you actually give them your contact information?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that they can call you with any questions that they may have?
Yeah, so my direct line for my cell phone, which is everything, is 404-915-6834. You can also email me, and you can just email it to my team, teamglick, Glick, at nafinc.com. So NancyAppleFrankInc.com.
And you can always visit me on the web, AtlantaRealEstateStar.com. You can call me directly, 404-604-3837. You can email me, ChristianFrazier@kw.com. Thank you for listening. I hope the information was valuable. Thanks, Jeff, for allowing me to talk to you about these programs.
Absolutely.
We've actually got I've got a couple of deals in with Jeff right now, and I'm excited about them. The buyers are excited, and I really think that more people should really look into some of these programs.
Excellent. Agreed. Enjoy your day.
Take it easy.
Thank you.